today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing!
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another round of ORL. And we are here, of course, at the season finale at the Bahrain International Circuit, as we've just seen it in real life. And of course, I'm joined again by Complacency for this final round of the season in the F1 Brisbane.
Hello there. Good to be back again. Should have a nice nice final race here. The real race was good. We are already having a bit of a disappointment as we couldn't get Jan in the session, our championship leader. Really looking forward to the race between him and Nicholas. Nicholas is only 3 points behind in the championship battle for first. So if Nicholas can just manage to score 3 points here, which I think would just be P9 with the fastest lap or P8 or better. And yeah, he could have a championship win.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, behind that too, we've got another good fight from third, fourth, and fifth. And even Dyslexic in sixth to a certain degree. We got Krusix in third with 85 points, Yari in fourth with 82, Svekov in fifth with 76, and Dyslexic back there with 69. So realistically, I mean, Krusix, Yari, and Svekov could be fighting for that third place. Should be also a nice achievement.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got something interesting for the final rounds of the season. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. And I'm just quickly pulling out spreadsheets as well for the championship standings.
Got several drivers starting their first laps. Joshua Kazani going around, Adin Ruiz. Some of those back there still in the top 10 fighting for those points. And looks like Nicholas on his out lap, he should be starting his. So that's going to be the one to watch. Also Yari, who's still in the pits, and Svetkov, who's also in the pits. So Nicholas right now going through T1. Hard on the brakes, lets it run out a little bit wide. Brings it back around, hit the DRS, open the wing up. Really straddle the curb, use as much space as you can. Entry to 4. The car likes to get the back end. Let's get really slippery back there, and track limits is also a pretty big issue, which we actually saw today in the real Grand Prix.
Yeah, especially that turn 4 is a real big issue for the track limits. And of course, we've got this little tricky corner around here, where we see a little bit of a mistake from Hamilton in the race then, with a bit of lockup, and I think we're going to see lockups and stuff like that really often there, especially now in hot lapping and later on in the race as well.
Yeah, it's with the downhill and moving away, you really got to kind of take the right line through there and get the car straightened up so you can be hard on the brakes and stick your trail braking in. If you a little too much and lock up, you run wide, you lose so much time. And if we know these guys are always really close, so you can definitely snatch up a position. Here comes Nicholas to put in his time, and it's a 1:24.8, so puts him on provisional pole at the moment by a 10th over Leonard.
Of course, Leonard will try to take away this pole position at the next possible opportunity. And while just watching him going into the S's, I have to say I've just seen a picture of Lando Norris taking exact that line, and somebody right below, like Lando Norris taking the F1 2020 line. That was a really good comparison, and because yeah, here in the game you really take every corner from as far outside as you possibly can. Because, well, I think the curbs aren't really that bad in the game as they are in real life in terms of grip.
No, a lot of the curbs aren't too bad here. You can really attack them pretty aggressively. Just got word apparently. Jan is streaming right now, and he's on lap 13 of a race against AI in Bahrain. Like he's doing some practice, so we're trying to get word to him that, you know, the spot's open, he can still join. He might not be able to put in a lap unless he gets in here really quickly, but hopefully we can get that word to him and get the fight on. As Chris goes 124.805, so only 0.03 of a second in front of Nicholas. So still looking good for Nicholas as far as championship goes.
Exactly. Well, most of the guys are now in the pits or changing tires. We might just notice that. Well, Codemasters, the developer of the game, of course, they're of course located in the UK, and they wanted to help a little space near where they're developing their games, and yeah, they started a little fundraising campaign, and well, you guys, or we guys, will start some hot lapping around Bahrain, which is exactly what we're doing now here in qualifying, of course. And yeah, we just we shall step up a game and raise some money for a good cause. And if you want to support that, just take a look in the description and follow the link. You'll find a link, of course, to the hospice itself, what they do. Of course, they couldn't do anything physical for the last about 12 months due to the lockdown, but well, they want to somehow do that virtually and somehow still help the people out there. And of course, you'll also find a link to the fundraising website where you can give a bit of money to that good cause and help out a little hospice who really needs the help. But so far we've seen Leonard just put in another time from the fast lap. Now I think that's showing all the time, so we've got another bug right there. Meanwhile, Chris has gone fastest with a 124.805, so just about 20 to 30 tenths quicker than, not tenths, hundredths quicker than Nicholas.
Yari backed out. He must have invalidated his lap. And also, Jan has joined the session after doing some practice. Said he had a quali ban, which obviously not super thrilled about, as you wouldn't be. He'll be looking to carve his way through the back, which we've seen him do that. And, you know, with it's real tight in the points. Everybody's going to be scrapping for position. There's definitely a good chance you could see a safety car come out at some point during this race, and he could take advantage of that. So it's certainly possible. Yeah, apparently he's really relieved. He said he thought he missed it. So okay, we're back on track. I think it does look like the only one we are missing, unfortunately, is Crucix. I don't see him in here unless he's changed his name. So
he isn't, I think. And Crysis isn't either. That would be the only one who you could switch names with, but those two aren't there today.
So that's good for Yari and Svetkov. Yari only 3 points behind, and Svetkov 9 points behind. So that's definitely a doable, an achievable goal for them to fight for that third position. So Yari and Svetkov will watch the battle between them. Haven't seen Yari's lap yet, but Svetkov on the board with a 126.157.
And as you speak,
and that's
Yari just sets a lap, a 125.7, and gets quicker. Not Jari, that's actually Joshua.
Yes,
Jari,
the 124.7.
exactly. Jory was, I think he invalidated his lap before that. That's why I was already wondering.
Yeah.
He's doing 2 laps in a row.
Yeah, he's back on those softs. It looks like he's coming out for an out lap. Svetkov with a 126.157. That was on the medium tires, so he was trying to get into those top 10 maybe on the mediums. So he's clearly got the pace to start in the top 10 if he wants to. Though he would probably have to start, on the softs. I don't know if he necessarily wants to do that. Maybe he'd just rather start a few places back, take advantage of some of the chaos and start on that on a free choice of tires.
Exactly, that might be a thing. But of course, if you are in the below the top 10, then you should go for another soft run, because then it's not really much of use to have the mediums, because you have free tire choice either way.
So Yari's starting his lap to turn 2 and 3 into the DRS zone. Yeah, you can see they really just stay. They're barely driving on the road on the run down to turn 4. Like you said, talked about earlier, using all the curves. This curve on the inside here is a little tricky. It can definitely upset the car and get the spin. You can see all the skid marks from where everybody's been locking up going into beginning of sector 2 there, down to turn 9, which is, again, more skid marks. There's a big lock up there. Keeps it pretty well together, though. It's going to compromise the exit. He's going to lose some time all the way down this straight. But looks like this is a pretty good lap he's putting together so far. Flat out, this is another one where if you get on that inside curb, it'll upset the car. And you can spin into that inside wall pretty easily.
Yeah, that's really a dangerous curve there, but you have definitely to avoid that. And here you can see again, nearly going completely off track with the tires, but coming across the line, a 124.4, so just about 2.5 tenths quicker.
2.5 tenths, puts himself on pole. Well, so a 1-2 right now for the McLarens. It's good to see. Kazani also could make up a few positions in the championship. He's got 54 points behind Gebelwan, who isn't in here, so he should be able to pass him with any amount of points today. And Dyslexic, who's currently down in P5. So if he wants to hang on to that 6th spot, he's going to need a good result today. So look for him making some moves. Maybe try to get a little bit higher right at the end. Svetkov is still cruising around on that same set of tires. See if he comes in this lap, maybe put something else on. He's down in P13 right now.
Does look a bit more like a bit of practice.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, looks like he's coming in now. See, he's got time if he wants to throw some softs on.
Exactly that. We've got right here Flash, who invalidated his lap and is now back into the pits. And therefore we've got, oh no, there are a few more that went out again. For example, Leonard and Jari is of course right behind Leonard for another out lap, so both of them chasing down the times of each other again. Let's see what Leonard does with his lap into the first turns. Of course, very easily to just spin out, as we've seen today, with Mazepin, of course, in the first lap, causing the first safety car of the year. And of course, the Aston Martin safety car did his job for the first time. And yeah,
it looked good out there.
Yeah, it really did. And
I liked it. It sounded nice too, didn't it? Oh, it sounded great. I would love to see the safety cars race. I don't know if they've done that. If they haven't, I think they probably should.
Yeah, sometimes they go for a hot lap, but I think they don't really race. I mean, you know, there are some videos of Bernd drifting the safety car.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've seen those. Those are great.
Even though it really kind of doesn't really make sense because it's the safety car and they drift. But
I mean, it's got to be fast because you know you're I mean, they've talked about it. If you're driving the safety car, you're pushing as hard as you can.
Yeah, and
While
still,
the cars behind you just warming their tires, complaining, "Oh, can't they go any faster?" It's like, honestly, I'm doing my best.
yeah, exactly.
So,
They're completely
Leonard is
racing this car,
bailing
but
on this lap.
yeah, exactly. Let's see what Jari does. He bailed as well.
Yeah, he had come in
Was
the lap
Joshua.
before, so
Ah.
he's probably about to leave. Leonard, I don't think is going to have time to get out of the pits and get all the way around. We'll see. It's going to be cutting it really close.
Probably not. Most of the guys
Here's
will
some
not make their way out, I guess. Maybe
they've
there'll
still
be
got
some
a little bit of
late
time.
calls.
You need about, what, like a minute 35. You probably want to start going to like a minute 40. Yeah, here comes one of the Mercedes.
I mean, they've
We
already
got the Haas of
prepared
Mirandix
for it.
is on a hot lap right now.
We don't want to see something like Italy again. They go the two McLaren.
So, oh, VSR Top Tom. 124.396.
Beautiful. So provisional pole to him, but of course two McLarens on the outlap, Hedges on the outlap. Some more coming out. Did the other Mercedes of Oxygen, Racing Point, or Leonard? We've got a Alfa Romeo and a Ferrari out there. So we've got some more people to come out, even though I think everybody who's going out now probably won't make it over the line, except if we have this again, that our timer isn't the time of the driver's seat.
Yeah, that is possible. We've had that happen in the past. Mirandix put in a good lap on those mediums. He's the fastest out of all the medium runners, but it's only good enough for 13th, a 125.812. So he's got some pace. Not going to have enough time because he's got to drive all the way back around again. So not going to have enough time to go out on anything else. Took a gamble on those, and maybe that's fine. Would rather start on those. I know a lot of drivers would prefer it. With the 50% distance races, it can make a big difference. Let's see. We've got Yari is approaching the final corner to start his lap. And Kazani is behind him and is pretty close. It looks like now he's going to back up a little bit and give himself some room.
And Chris just sat he's himself in second place, just a few hundreds before Jari. So Jari now trying, of course, to retake pole position, but especially at least the second place. And yeah, of course, Leonard as well, Joshua as well. And that's going to be the battle basically for pole position. I don't think Chris is doing another lap. He's I think just going to the pits because he would be pushing 2 laps then.
Yari is on a really good lap so far as one of the Red Bulls gets out of the way. He had a much better run through 1, 2, and 3. He kept it a lot tighter through 1 and had an excellent exit out of there. So I think he should be up on his time a little bit better through 9. So those are some of the trickier parts. It's kind of from here on, this last sector is a lot easier. It's pretty much flat for most of it.
Yeah, exactly. So basically we've got a very strict a big moment there from Jari. It's basically the first sector and the last sector are just straights. I think those 2 sectors have like 5 corners at all, and then all of the trickier part happens in the second sector.
So he didn't improve his time, so still P3.
Joshua
Zani,
still P4.
P4, so second row filled up by them so far. Leonard coming across the line to P1, 124.388. So only 0.08 of a second to steal pole from Top Tom.
The only one who hasn't crossed the line is Luka Uiterwijk. And oh well, there's still Flash, and no, there's just Flash. I think Andrews just crossed the line. So Luka and Flash now crossed the line, made up the place into 14th, and Luka is staying in 9th. There we go, there we have it. final classification for the last race of this season. And for the final points those drivers can harvest, Leonard setting himself up on pole position just 8 milliseconds before top Tom in the AlphaTauri, and with Chris behind in the Red Bull. And then we've got Jar in 4th, Kozany in 5th, both McLaren teammates of course, Nicholas in 6th, Dyslexic in 7th, Oxygen in 8th, Luca in 9th, and Hedges in 10th. So, looking nice so far. We are going to see then again for the formation lap of the Bahrain GP. And there we are, of course, back for the Bahrain GP. Drivers just finalized their setups. Well, you can't really do much more about your setup, but finalize their strategy and what tire special they're going to start on from the top 10 on. And we are starting into the formation lap. And this is going to be the last time the drivers are lining up for the grid, of course. And yeah, we're looking forward to see a nice race, see some interesting overtakes, and hopefully not too much safety car action, but of course some would mix the race up a bit. Here we can see the predicted pit stop strategy. So Bahrain isn't really hard on tires, but it also isn't really easy on tires.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can stretch them if you really try, but I mean, we've got the top 10 all on softs. Those aren't going to last too terribly long. But if you can stretch them out, you can probably put it on a set of hards and probably do a one-stopper. We've got, in the bottom 10, though, a good healthy mix. We got Svetkov in 1 second on the hards, also Flash and Randic. So four guys on the hards, and then we got 5 drivers. Yeah, 5 other drivers on the mediums, including Jan in the back. So Jan just needs to find a way to track down Nicholas in P6. So Nicholas needs to just head down, don't be aggressive, you know, make sure if someone tries to contest a position, don't even really worry about it. You just need P8 or better. So try not to go backwards, but don't be real aggressive. Wait for your moments. Stay out of that first lap, that turn 1 chaos. Which we almost always get something. And Jan, of course, take advantage of the turn 1 chaos and just get into a rhythm and try to track them down, maybe take advantage of an alternate strategy. So
exactly.
See that there. Then also Yari up in P4. Svetkov, rough start down to P11, but he's starting P11 and he's starting on the hards, so we'll see how his strategy works out.
Oh no, that's just... I just saw DSQ and was really surprised, but I think that's just because they touched in the lap. I think we've got this bug that we're going to see the fastest lap from Leonard all the way through. But we're just waiting for Flavio to round up the grid, and then we're ready to go for the last time, and therefore we might just jump to the front. If the game is starting, here we go. We have 3 lights, 4 lights, and 5 lights. And the lights are out. No, they're not yet. And away the drivers go.
Flavio jumped the start.
Oh, he did. It's definitely pedal to the metal now, and it's Leonard alongside with Top Tom. I think Top Tom, no, he doesn't. He has to step back, and the Rebel of Chris already gets into the fight with Top Tom and trying to make his way past, but he nearly touched Leonard there and has to step back a bit. And I have to say that McLaren duel really looks like we've seen it today in real life. They're at the back in 5th and 4th. Then we've got the Alfa Romeo of Nicholas and Dyslexic fighting already. Ooh, a lot of bumping into each other. Doesn't really look like F1. Looks like bumper cars. And that might cause
Renault of Flo running real wide. Somebody got bumped pretty hard. Looks like Luca dropped 10 places. Probably has some damage. Flavio was ghosted. I think he's might be back now. So Jan up into 16th. The front seems to have sorted itself out pretty nicely.
yeah, they did, but now the back is still a little bit of confusion where it's who's where, and I see somebody run wide turn 10, but not sure who that was. A big lockup around here, but the camera just switched away as I was seeing it, and the two Haas are giving it a go. Down the last straight of the circuit. And another big lockup here from Mirandix. And this time Leonard really gets the fastest time because he's setting the first one of the day. And there goes the overtake from John against Mirandix. Of course, John is charging down the main straight to try and retake a few positions. He wants to claim some points to defend off Nicholas, who is battling for the championship.
Nicholas getting into it with Oxygen, losing position. Oh no, something happened. He spun. Nicholas spun. Jan gets in front of him. That's going to be tough. It doesn't look like there's any damage, but now he's back down to the back of the field. P18 just in front of Luca. And Jan up into 12th. So if he can just, if he could just stay in front, that's all he's got to do. So the ball is now in Jan's court, and the pressure is now back on Nicholas. So it's kind of crazy how fast something like that can happen and just change things.
Yeah, exactly. We just have switch ups every now and then, and it's just about those little mistakes you make, especially in the beginning phase. Of course, if you make the mistake in the beginning, you have a lot of time to recover. Oh, and a massive moment from Hedges there, and Svetkov is now right at his back and probably trying already to go for the overtake now. No, not yet. And here we go for the third lap. I guess DRS should be enabled now, and I think we didn't get the bug this time that DRS gets enabled already in lap 2, because even though they said they fixed this on Monday, I had a race on Monday I commentated on, and we immediately got the bug again, so it's not fixed.
Oh, it's unfortunate. Well, yeah, you see the wings open now for sure. Svetkov did get that position, so he's up into P8. Dyslexic and Yari only a few positions in front of him, only a few seconds up the road. That's where he needs to get to. So still looking good there. Jan now into P11, 1 second back from 1 second. It's the final points position. Anything he can get, that's really gonna help. But Nicholas now picked up a penalty for looks like 3 seconds for track limits, so it goes from bad to worse. Still really tight through the field all the way except for Oxygen, who seems to have kind of fallen off the pack, and now with the DRS he's probably going to start moving backwards, I would imagine. It's early for too early for tire wear to be a factor on those softs. And Vladimir behind, he's on, or Vadim, sorry, behind is on those hards. I wouldn't think he'd have as much pace as he does, but he's really quick on those.
Ooh, a move for the lead. Top Tom goes down the inside into the first turn and made it past Leonard as it looks so far. Probably gets another round of DRS. No, Leonard of course gets the DRS, and maybe we see another move into turn number 4 now. Leonard lines up behind him and well, has to try next time for the lead again. Maybe already gets a chance out of turn 10. Oh, they're at the back. Nicholas and Flo are giving it a go. And we've got somebody off. Oh, 1 second is off in the middle section here in the sector 2. Find his way back on track. I mean, we've seen some guys struggle in real life there too. We've seen Gasly, for example, lose his wing there.
Exactly. This is a very tricky track as far as keeping the car just pointed in the right direction. There's a few spots where just as your tires start to wear, like the flat out right-hander there in sector 3, you know, your tires start to wear, you can lose it there. If you touch a curb on the wrong part of the circuit in the wrong corner, you can easily lose the back end. And then the low speed corners, the traction is really, as we see, Yari having a bit of a moment as he comes out of turn 1. And yeah, that's kind of the theme of this track, is it's just like keep it in the right direction. And as everybody's so close all the time, and everybody's under constant pressure.
Yeah, you just, with the overtake, made a little mistake and let John then get through again. So it's a little switchback move here and there. Of course, there are some turns where you can really miss brake and completely miss the apex of the turn, and then give your opponent a chance to retake his own position. And again, another lockup, so something you really see often are these lockups, especially, of course. Oh, another Ferrari's off now. Ujtrovic is off before turn 8.
I think that's his second off of the day, actually, too. So that's not good. Jan catching Oxygen, reeling him in pretty quick. Who's right on the back of Svetkov, trying to get around. He really wants to put, you know, some space between him and championship leader. Nicholas also has some good pace. He's taken half a second in the last lap out of the Mirandics. Looks like really trying to close in on those points positions and give himself a chance. But he is on those softs. He had to start on softs, so those are going to start wearing soon. It's still early, but give it another 3 or 4 laps and you'll really start to feel it.
We've got some mix-up at the front. Jari finally gets past his teammate Joshua, and Chris takes second position from Leonard, who is a bit struggling with the grips, and now with not leading anymore. Yeah, he can't really follow Top Tom around the lap, and Chris got no pass as well. I have to say, Top Tom already made quite a big gap, so it seems like it's not easy keeping up with Top Tom throughout the circuit.
No, he's really having to push. He's really setting a quick pace. Hegedus had another moment. It looks something's really giving him trouble with his car. I think the tires are super overheated now, but yeah, you see him, he's sliding all over the place. I think if I can see his tire temperatures there, it's 220 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a lot higher. I think 212 is the highest you want in there, so 212 would be 100 degrees Celsius, so they're big lock up in a 9. He's struggling now.
And John stuck behind his teammate Oxygen, of course, still. But it's just a matter of time till he gets DRS on the main straight, probably, when he can do the overtake. I mean, Oxygen, of course, has the better tires, the softs, but John is just a very quick driver, as we can see here. And even though Oxygen has this tire advantage, which should be falling off about now, John makes the move past and goes into 8th position so far.
Yeah, so now he can work on Svetkov right in front. Looks like somebody went off in front. Who is that? Is that Yari? That's Yari. Now Svetkov's right on the back of him, which is good for him. So as we know, there's only a 6-point difference there between these two drivers. So this battle for 6 is extremely important. Ooh, big moment. Those softs are really just not having a good time. I would imagine we'll see Yari dive into the pits. He can just keep his elbows out to these this last sector. Ooh, big lockup, leaves the door open, but he can't quite get it. He's going to have DRS, but he went for that move that compromised his exit, so he's not going to get to make the dive here. You can really see that that McLaren, if you're riding on board with Svetkov, you can see it, yeah, starting to slide towards the inside, especially under braking, a little too much there. Yeah, those tires are just gone. Jan slips through as well, takes advantage.
Exactly, just keeping close to Zvekov, who he maybe already can overtake. Let's see what he can do. I mean, he's the medium tires, quick driver. Possibility should be there, and there he goes down the inside into the first turn, making a pass in the braking zone, and already in front of us. We've got Ferrari off again. It's Uitowik, I think, into turn.
A lot of people struggling for
8.
grip today.
Yes, and again, or is it just stopped or what? Doesn't really look like quite smooth. Now the leading group is arriving, and Chris and TopTom are really giving it a go, really on pace, because the rest of the top 5, top 6 is a bit dropping away from them. And as you enter turn 10, it's basically just a big smoke, because every second driver's locking up there.
Yeah, I've just been riding on board with Yari, who elected to stay out, which I think is a little bit of an odd choice. Yeah, he's got to lift a little bit around, I think that's turn 12 or 13 there. Flat out. It's usually a flat out right-hander, so he's sliding back. What you can really see is under braking, the car starts to slide in. It's getting harder for him to control that angle. Yeah, here he goes. He comes into the pits. It's just not worth the risk if you turn yourself around.
Yes, and all the soft runners come into the pits, and that's the lead for Jan so far, with Zetkov in second, depending on what strategy they're trying to go for. I mean, the mediums will last a bit longer. They're not done yet. Should go over to his lap 12 to 15 something. And well, do you reckon there's some of the guys trying a medium to hard strategy?
Let me switch, get the tires up here. Yeah, I mean, I would think that's what anybody who started, they're just gonna flip flop. Maybe some of the guys who started on the hards, maybe they put the softs on at the end. I mean, you have that choice. That is the benefit. You're not committed to that if you can make them last.
Oh, Nicholas goes very wide there as he was battling with Jari. Has to take a very wide line in that middle sector. But he's still side by side though to Jari. And into turn 10 they go, a lock up from both, I think. Jari now, they switched lines and Nicholas got the DRS. They're alongside. So Nicholas got a bit of an advantage going down the inside with DRS for the next turn. Of course, if he doesn't screw it up, that should be his turn. But Jari's still down the inside. And they're going on with their side-by-side action now. And down here, still side-by-side. I don't know what their mission is. And it's now going to be interesting who gets DRS, but it's probably Jari, because Nicholas can now set himself in front. Jari tries to maybe look for a little possibility to overtake, but no. And now with DRS might be his first real opportunity to make an overtake, while we've got a Ferrari in the pit lane. Who retired? Yeah, I think so. But it's not worth the move yet. And another lockup from Nicholas, I think.
I don't know how much they want to fight with each other. Nicholas really needs to get up towards the front. Jari doesn't need, it's really not as crucial for him. He doesn't want to waste time and burn up those tires. I'm fighting Nicholas, who had the fastest lap. So clearly has pace, and now you can see he's kind of slowly starting to increase that gap. Get himself in a safe position. Svetkov's staying, he's pretty much maintaining that 6 to 7.5 tenths behind Jan, so he's doing pretty well, using that DRS to kind of just pull himself along and stay close.
amazing. But I have to say, all the other gaps kind of gotten a bit bigger now. Still, the field is still quite tight together. But we've got some gaps in between. Some guys are struggling to stay within DRS distance, and that is not really, well, something where I can say it's a lot of overtaking. But it's now going to be interesting which strategy the guys are choosing to go for, because well, we've got now Jan and Tvetkov in the lead at the moment, and I think they could stay there, or at least on the podium spots somewhere, if they maybe decide for a one stop, which might be quicker than going for 2 stops.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely doable, though. You would need to conserve your tires a little bit at least, maybe not a whole lot with a 50%, distance race, but I mean, what we can see from these two is especially Jan is locking up into turn 1 every single lap and most of the other corners most of the time. Yeah, so is Svetkov. There's another big lockup for him coming around the final corner. Usually in that later, I had a bit of a technical issue.
Not a problem.
Usually in that later stage of the braking there, we see them both do it into turn 1 again, really pushing as hard as they can.
We've got some overtakes again happening. I think Flo just made his way past that race now. And we've got a little bit of action at the back, and Jari's going again for position against Nicholas P12, and he went easily past with the help of DRS, of course. Nicholas kind of even made space. Of course, he was defending for turn 1, but Jari had just that much more speed that it was not hard to really pass him. And here goes Nicholas around the outside, and we've seen this in real life today happen really often, but and Nicholas sends Jari in a spin.
Oh no, Jari just retired, I think he just, yep, he did not appreciate that. I mean, that was a brave move from Nicholas around the outside of those S's. It's really hard to keep the car under control there. I think just neither driver wanted to back down. Not sure if Nicholas will doesn't look like he's going to get a penalty for that. I mean, I think it was tough but fair. Just hard racing, made a little bit of contact. Jari came off far worse. So that is P12 now for Nicholas, who's 5.5 seconds up the road or down the road from dyslexic. Still got about 8 seconds to go to get to the points. We see some more pit stops happening as some of these medium runners come in. All choosing to go on the hards. So Adin Ruiz, Flo, and Alpskaya.
Exactly, and yeah, that really makes sense because, well, the hards last a bit longer than the mediums, and I mean, they could do 12 laps on the mediums, so it's not a big problem doing another 15 to 16 laps on the hard tire. That should completely be doable. The question is later on is can maybe the hard tire drivers go for enough laps, so about 22 to 23 laps, so that they can choose to go onto a soft tire immediately afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible, but I think you're going to lose so much pace towards the end of the stint. And I think with everybody else switching to the faster tires, I feel like you're not... I mean, everybody's stretched out more. We see Jan now coming in for his stop, so Svetkov gets DRS and nobody in front. Some clean air on those hards. Yeah, I think everybody else being on the faster tires is just going to make up too much time. The pace difference will be too much, and you won't be able to overtake with these larger gaps between cars today. It's pretty uncharacteristic of this group.
Exactly. So we see John actually slotting in between Dyslexic and Nicholas. So he is still in front of Nicholas. Nicholas can't win the championship like that if they finish in that order. And Top Tom and Chris are closing in, of course, at the lead of the race where they kind of belong. But of course, Svetkov and Mirandix haven't stopped yet. They probably will close in a bit, but yeah, Svetkov and Mirandix will have to stop either way.
Yeah, I don't see how Nicholas can really pull this off. It would take a long shot. He's going to need a safety car, which I don't think he's going to get at this point. It's highly unlikely. Now everybody's spread out so much, but those mediums he's on are 6 laps old, and he's also got a penalty, 3 seconds for track limits. So still a long way, you know, to dig himself out of the hole he finds himself in. So looking good for Jan. Currently, as it stands, would make him our championship winner.
So yeah, another lockup from Leonard. I think that's probably what we say the most today. Another lockup from.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
But this track is
phrase of the day.
Yeah, this track is it's a lot of very hard braking zones, or a very tricky braking zone, especially even into turn 10. So far, maybe we've got a little battle between Flo and Ardan Ruiz there. So far, everything seems to be settled. Yeah, and except from that, we've not got anyone really close to making an overtake, so we kind of have to wait how this goes on, how this carries on, how John can go further up the field as Joshua gets a 3-second time penalty.
Tough for him, but I don't think that should affect him too much, though he does need to stay in front of, he's 15 points behind Dyslexic. I don't know that he's going to be able to make up that many points here. I was just kind of, since we're spread out a little more, just kind of trying to look through and see how the championship was playing out further down the field. Svetkov comes in, so we'll see where he slots out. He's throwing on the medium tires.
So he's basically,
and Leonard.
So far he's doing the opposite strategy to what John is doing.
And Jan manages to get past Dyslexic going down there too, so he slots out behind Jan and Dyslexic on a fresh set of mediums. He's going to make last 13 laps, which I think we've seen is doable. That's what Jan did on his.
Here we had a little three-way battle between Flo, 1 second, and Ardan Ruiz. 1 second and Flo have not settled on who is going to be taking the 12th spot here, 11th even spot here. But now it looks like Flo takes it away, for now at least. We'll see maybe some switch up again, and of course all 3 of them want to get that 10th position, which currently Oxygen holds, and another lockup as we go into turn 10 again.
Yeah, that was good hard racing between those two. We saw them right on the limit of the grip that they had. Looks like they banged wheels a little bit, but no damage, no harm, no foul, I think. And they both managed to even keep it inside the track limits. So Flo still ahead, but 1 second is going to get the DRS, and Ardan Ruiz right behind too. So we might see, could possibly be 3 wide here at the end of this straight, though Ardan is a little far back. He might not be able to get himself up into it.
Yeah, we saw that the lap before. And well, I think both Flo and 1 second are a bit quicker, therefore they would, of course, pull away a bit more, but still Andrew still on a 1 second, still didn't really find a way past or a way alongside Flo, so he has to wait a bit more. And in the meantime, we maybe can take a look at Svekov, who's really challenging Dyslexic for 7th possession on the grid. And he is, of course, on the medium tires. He has a bit of a better position than Dyslexic with those 7-level mediums. Hards, not mediums. And yeah, for the overtake didn't look that difficult, and it wasn't.
A nice, easy overtake with the DRS. Got it done before the braking zone. That's always nice. And he should see. So he had similar pace on the hards than Jan had on the mediums. So, you know, I would imagine he should be able to reel him in. And we might have kind of a similar situation to what we saw in the real Grand Prix today, where at the end we've got to fight for the lead the last 2-3 laps here. Randix comes in for his stop, throws on some mediums, so that'll be going to the end for him. And he's going to slot out. There goes Nicholas up into 8. And slots in cleanly in between Nicholas and Oxygen out in P9. Just 1 second also came in, got off those worn tires. He really suffered getting held up behind Flo and Adnan Ruiz there. I mean, he had the older tires and he had the better tires, but when they slotted in front of him, he loses all that time. So that kind of compromised his stint down in the P14, 19 seconds behind. That's probably going to be the day done for him.
And further up, Top Tom is really taking the lead of the race. And Chris is, of course, now in second after I think Mirandings as well did his stop just a lap earlier. And of course, Kozane is still fighting for the podium places there, but Chris, Kozane, and Leonard all have penalties and all have 3 seconds. So if John just stays close enough, now he can't stay. He needs to do a few overtakes to get second position because Kozane is 3 seconds away from Chris, which means that John has to overtake Kozane for second position. Well, Joshua is actually in third, but of course he would get closer to Chris and therefore be in that 3-second window.
He is catching up pretty quick, but even quicker is Svetkov behind, like we talked about already, half a second, so can stick his nose in here and make himself a factor, which is good because Yari obviously with the DNF, so currently this is going to put Svetkov up in front of Yari, and Krusix isn't here, so he's on pace to secure P3 in the championship. As long as he keeps it clean. So I wouldn't even really risk much here with fighting with Jan. You only need 9 points.
Oh, in the next DF, Hydrid is not continuing the race. And I think that's, oh yes, that's a DNF due to a crash, and I don't know why there is no safety car because his car was lying in the middle of the track. But even though it wouldn't have changed much, I think maybe the top.
Leonard making a move on Kazani down turn 4. And it looked like he was going to switch back, but Kazani kind of had a moment, slipped up, so Leonard gets a move done. And that's up into the podium position for now, but like you said, he's got that 3-second penalty.
Yeah, so it's for them. It's those 3 will finish in the same order, but the question is how close will John now get at the back? And we see them stacking up there. They have to break much more than Joshua in front. And
I think Svetkov might make a move here. I think he's going to send it right at the last minute. No, he doesn't. He just chooses. That's probably smart. Like we said, he doesn't need to risk much. So he's actually being very cautious. I think there's been a couple times where he probably could have got around, but he's just kind of biding his time. Just no thanks. I don't want to get in an incident. I like the points I have, and I think I'll keep them.
Yeah, exactly. That's sometimes the mentality you have to have for racing. But of course, I think here he goes alongside John there down the straight, which of course stops them from battling against Kozany, which is good for him, but not good for John, who wants to, of course, claim some more points because he is the championship winner if he just finishes in front of Nicholas, which shouldn't be a hard task if he just keeps it on the track.
Yeah, Nicholas desperately needs a safety car, so really unlucky for him that Saba's retirement didn't. Ooh, big moment from the racing point of Leonard up there. Almost called it an Aston Martin. Yeah, they're really pushing those tires to the limit. They're getting pretty rough on those hards. See, Svetkov picks a direction. He's going to send it around the outside. Hold it nicely. Ooh, a little bit of contact there, but they keep it clean. Oh, they're just rubbing the side pod just a little bit. He finally concedes, lets him go, says it's not worth it. I don't want to crash. More patience. Svetkov, I'm really impressed with how patient he's being right now. Because he knows he's faster. Like, he just kind of pulls up a little bit, a little lift. He's just trying to stay in front of Jen, and that's it. Just don't get caught from behind. You know, you got this nice, easy overtake right here.
Yeah, but sometimes that's just all you got to do. Just stay a bit calm. The opportunity will be there, and he tries to squeeze it down the outside, nearly completely off track, and makes it past around the outside. So he just last minute he squeezed him there around the outside because Josh was trying to defend the inside off, which line Zvekov would have chosen, and Jan immediately makes a move past Kozany as well. Probably because he had some traction problems on the straight afterwards, after that turn one. And now,
so definitely get around.
Was close.
Should definitely get around Leonard up here in this DRS zone. Should have better exit with those tires, and not that great. I think he'll just save it for turn one. But then it'll be after he gets around here, it'll be 5 seconds up the road to Chris, who's, you know, once he gets around, then he's in the DRS of Top Tom. So Top Tom doesn't need to really pick up the pace, but for sure don't slow down. So we got coming around for 7 laps to go. Starting on this next lap. Leonard is having a real tough time on those tires. It's too late to get off them now. Sitting duck with the DRS. There he goes.
That makes Zvekov makes the pass, of course, and yeah, Jan is of course the next one, looking at the rear wing of Leonard and wanting to get past that car because he is in search for a lot of points as well. But I can't make it quite round this time, and now Zvekov has a little bit of air, has a little bit less pressure from behind, and yeah, can make his way up to his teammate Chris in the other Red Bull.
And he's going to be really hoping his teammate can maybe make a few moves on Top Tom and maybe hold him up. You know, he's got that penalty, but, you know, he could certainly help him. Even with a little DRS assistance to get him up there a little quicker. He's not taking that much out per lap as Jan gets around Leonard with the help of a little late braking and some DRS. So less than half a second now, approaching the final corner, coming around to start, finish straight. Yeah, only 5/10, so with that DRS, he's going to be a little far back, but he's right up the tailpipe of Top Tom, his SHC Chris. And Svekov's got that gap down to 4.5 seconds, so these two can pick up their pace, Svetkov has a chance.
Exactly, and now that they have a bit of free air, they also can maybe slingshot around each other if that works out, if they're not battling too hard at the end, but therefore John has to close into Svetkov, of course, who has at the moment still a bit of entire advantage.
Johnny picks up another 3-second penalty. So yeah, they're at the end of the race. We might see Svetkov can close it up. Might see a
Where
little
does
shake and bake.
Joshua go? He completely spun it off there.
Oh no. Oh, and he retired. He's had enough. Well, that's an interesting choice, because if you finish, you move up to P7 in the championship. So I guess he will be staying behind Gebelwand, who did not participate in this race.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess a pretty difficult race for McLaren, unlike the real race today. They've got really 2 retirements. That's not what you want to end the season with, and another big lockup from Leonard.
DRS. Chris just cruising past Top Tom now. So now the question is, do you try to get the 3-second gap? Do you think you can pull that off in 5 laps? I don't know if he's got the pace for that.
No,
so knowing if you don't have the pace for that, do you maybe slow down in a few corners that you know you can't get overtaken and just try to get your teammate back? I mean, there's no constructors points in Split B, so it wouldn't really benefit the team, but I mean...
Yeah, that could be a strategy to kind of slow him down a bit. Not too much, of course, but like to that amount that your teammate can close in. So, well, I mean, for us it's not bad. We got some more battling going on track, and of course the drivers won't really like it. Top Tom isn't really in favor for that, but I mean, as long as everything still stays fair, I think we have no problem with that.
Yeah, I think it would give us a little bit more, just some last-minute entertainment. It's down to 2.7 seconds now, the gap between Svetkov and Top Tom, kind of 2.7, 2.8, floating back and forth between there. And I think Chris is even just helping. He's trying to put the gap, but he's not going to clear it. But the dirty air alone, I think, is that's going to help to a certain extent. I don't know if Svetkov's closing the gap fast enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think they will get... I mean, he will maybe get P2 because he's close enough at the end of the race to... If he can go under 2 seconds, he probably will get P2 because Chris will start behind him, but John will most likely stay in P4.
Yeah, so see, looking back, Flo in P9 would pick up 2 points, which would actually put him from P12 to P11 in the championship. Who else we got? Leonard in 5th. That's a strong finish. And Kazani retired. That's in front of him. And Dyslexic in 7th. So he's going to make up some points there, but I don't think he's going to catch. So that is unfortunate. Yeah, I don't think he's got enough now. But he can catch Kazani and Gebelwand if he gets... Ooh, I think he would still need to get a little bit further ahead, and he's got that 3-second penalty, so probably nothing there. Looking further back, Ad Ruiz picks up a point, which gets him a point closer to Dylan, but doesn't get him around him. So not really a lot of shuffling going on. Not a lot of movement other than just Svetkov, who's going to be the real winner here, I think. Whether or not he actually wins the race.
Probably not, but yeah, I think he can snatch second if he gives it a good last 2 laps.
Yeah, I think second's doable. He's already almost there. I think another couple laps and he should have that one in the bag, which
Yeah,
will
exactly.
be good. A 2 and 3 for the Red Bull boys. That's still a good result for Chris even.
Exactly, fought his way up, and I mean for TopTom it's just now about, well, I just keep it clean and do not get a time penalty, because then he's of course not going to win, because Zvekov is not really close, but close enough to then swap in front. And at the
Yep, he's
moment,
already in that 3 seconds right now.
exactly, just about. So should be closing in a bit more just to make sure. But he has 2 laps to go now, so it's enough time to ensure that you are in this 3-second window and you stay in that window. I've just seen a beautiful move around the outside from Mirandix on Leonard down the main straight. And Leonard's going to try for the switch over line, but he's not really going for that move. At the back, Flo is going side by side with Oxygen and making the move past. Both on hard tyres, but I think Oxygen's tyres are just very, very old and therefore very have not much really grip to race with. That's why the guys are really closing into him and just trying to get past.
Yeah, he's been on those hards for 19 laps. So pretty tricky to manage those there at the end now, but so that'll be frustrating for Chris, who definitely had the pace to win. He just ran really wide.
Oh,
Why
he's TopTom retaking the lead.
is
Yes, he is.
Chris just pulled over?
But why?
He's going slow.
Has he got a problem with, I don't know, his wheels or something? Oh no. That's unfortunate for him, but that's good for John because he's taking 3rd place now. I think Chris probably retires in the pits. Is that possible? Because I know that looks like a technical problem.
I'm extremely confused by what is happening here. Because if he was going to go for a fastest lap...
Why? Why?
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's the only... But then why would you come back out? I can't... My brain is... just drawing a complete blank down every avenue of logic I try to explore. Maybe we can ask him about that at the end of the race.
Yeah, hopefully, if we get somebody in for the voice chat. Well, that's probably about it then. Zvekov now into that 1 second window, closed up to TopTom. So in the end he got quite close, but that was probably just due to Chris being so slow in the end, and TopTom slowed down as well. Zvekov in 2nd, and John now, of course, still in 3rd. A bit of a lock-up again there. You can't just live without it. And there they go. There is a McLaren standing. He's just waiting for them to pass so that he can finish as well.
Very interesting, yeah. So Jan, who nearly didn't make it, had the quali ban, had to start last. Just got a little bit of good fortune and also a hell of a good drive. So up into P3, that podium position, he is the championship winner. And Svetkov in P2 is going to pick up enough points to move himself up to P3 in the championship. So great day from those two. A podium and a good podium result for the championship. Nicholas missed out. Really unfortunate, tough day for him. Tough way to end the season, but real close fight there at the end, and at least he knows he can be in it for the next one. So
yeah, it's at least something, but yeah, that is the season finale. We've got some a bit controversial stuff happening, especially with the two McLaren retiring there because, well, the race didn't just go well, and we've seen a lot of lockups, so you really saw the driver struggling out there for traction. But we can say that Jan has made it. He is the winner of the Season 14 F2 Championship. And yeah, Nicholas probably stayed in second then. And third, did Zvekov get past Krusix with that position? With that 18 points, I guess? I think he did, but I'm not 100% sure. So for really checking up, the Adams, of course, will be looking into all incidents and whatsoever, what they're going to be sent. So the line, the finish order might change a little bit, and yeah, we'll see how that with the third place plays out. But I think Zvekov got it right at the end, and now we're of course hoping to get some guys in for the interview, and yeah, for that we're just going to switch over real quick. And so, who is it then? We want to talk to John. I don't think even though I don't think that John will not talk to us, because I think he doesn't want to talk. John Svetkov and Top Tom was the winner of the race. We've got, not sure if he. Exactly, and then we'll come back to you if we got some drivers that we can do the interview on. All right, so we're back with some information. We know that Zvekov and Chris are not going to join us. I think John isn't going to join us either. So I'm not 100% sure whether we get finally somebody in for an interview after that last race, and yeah, exactly. Sure if we
It'd be maybe, I don't know who else, anybody really. I mean, it was kind of an interesting race all the way down the field. Really, we saw quite a lot of good, wheel-to-wheel racing. Without, it was tough but fair, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a lot of it, though, there was a lot of tensions running pretty high with, like you said, struggling for grip, lots of lockups, everybody pushing it close in the championship. So desperately need to get those few points. I mean, if we look at it, so 11th, 27, Alberola 27 points, 12th Flo 26 points, 13th Polyakov 25 points, 14th Flash 25 points, 15th Oxygen with 20 points. So it's all like so close back there. There was definitely a lot of reasons to give it the old send.
Yeah, exactly. And but yeah, this has been the season finale so far, and we've got no race to teaser on for next week. We can just say we'll probably either continue with another mini season, or we'll just wait for the new game to come out till the next season starts. But for now, I guess if nobody will join us, we're just going to end the stream here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this season, of course. Thanks for all the drivers to show their best out on track, and congrats to the winners, to Jan and to Nicholas, of course, and to Zvekov as well. And yeah, it's been quite interesting, and yeah, then I hope you tune in next season as well. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the streams, and then I'll just say good night, and you can look up the information for the new seasons on the Discord.